Watch stream. There we go. All right, I think I'm good.
I think I am too. If you can hear me, I can still hear you.
Yep, I got you. All right, just got another invite. I guess we'll stay here.
Yeah, I did too. It was the same thing. So.
Okay. What is that Xytoriak wiggling?
Hey, welcome in everybody. Speed Gaming Live 2022. I'm KCR. With me is Retro Dismas. What's up, Retro Dismas?
What's going on?
Too much. It's a lovely Saturday, and we have our first match here, which is against Freeland versus Xytoriak, which is actually going to be kind of interesting. Not that any of the other matches are going to be uninteresting, but the one thing I was thinking about prior to this match is that we have sort of the pre-scroll glitch strats and the post-scroll glitch strats. So if folks haven't watched a Castlevania 1 any percent run in the past year or so, something that was supposedly TAS only got found to be RTA viable, which has sort of blown this run right out of the water. Kind of interesting new bigger skips found, first pioneered by SPD Wolf, and then Trisk and JC and folks like that really started to refine and hammer it home. So you might hear the two of us refer to the Wiggles, and the Wiggles is simply moving back and forth during when the screen is trying to load the next tile set. So with that, I'll kick it over to you for a second, Dismas. Anything that you're looking for in particular, first round here, first race?
What I was really thinking was you got Mr. Consistency in Freeland versus Mr. Xytoriak has been Mr. PB. He's been PBing like crazy lately. So.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's a great point. If folks have never raced Freeland in one of the Castlevanias 1 through 3, Freeland is like Retro Dismas said, super Mr. Consistency. He's a machine. He came in for qualifiers unwarmed up, and I think he posted a 11:43 RTA, I want to say. So that's Freeland.
Well,
Freeland just go ahead.
They're both about to go into the bat here with some axe strats, which you don't see very often anymore.
Oh, yeah, I have not seen this. So they both missed something with, normally the objective here with the first level is stage 1. You want to get the stopwatch if possible. During race, it's kind of debate if you want to try and go for an early stopwatch at the very beginning of stage 2, which requires activating that watch on the first frame available to make sure you stop time before that bat spawns, and you can actually get through that stage faster, and then finally get a crit on the bat. So Axe is kind of old school, like Retro Dismas is saying. It's not really, it's about the same as doing a backup fight with the watch with the bat. So interesting to see both of them do this. I think both of them are very familiar with how to play this level, level 2 with the Axe. One quick note here, and I don't know if we'll see it from either one of them, but there is a scroll glitch, RTA scroll glitch in both stage 5, which we don't see anybody going for yet, though I know one runner is kind of working on it, and also there's one in stage 6, which you can see in the current world record by JC. So let's see what happens here. They don't have the stopwatch, so I don't think they'll go for the crusher skip, because I don't think you can technically do that. Maybe there's something crazy, I don't know, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I know Xytoriak's familiar with these with the axe strats, because he sent them to me so I could practice them. So
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I've had this conversation with a couple runners. I think that Cruden also said something about, you know, falling back to the axe strats during races to just not even worry about the back crit. It just sort of depends. You know, I know you're the same as me. Like, I have, you know, weeks or months where the back crit seems free, and then, you know, it'll go 2 or 3 months where I'm like, can I do this trick anymore? I don't understand. So
Exactly. I think I was playing earlier today, and I got exactly 1 in about 10 shots. So, and then some days you can get 7 or 8 out of 10. So they're pretty darn close. I think I saw, I don't remember which one. One of them took a knockback somewhere.
yeah, they're pretty close. I think Xytoriak actually hit the Medusa crit. I was looking at Freeland's screen. So Freeland went for the setup that is actually more damage per second. Xytoriak set up for the Medusa crit. So I think Xytoriak got the Medusa crit, though I'm not 100% sure. Level 3. Level 3 is everybody's favorite level to try and speedrun. This is where the game, at least speedrun style, gets very complicated. This screen in particular, there's actually 2 different skeleton patterns and 3 different bird patterns you can get, so whatever that mathematical combination is. Xytoriak moving through it very well. Freeland taking a hit from those birds. Those birds are super annoying. If you're learning this game for the first time, there's actually a clunk strat that if you look for Two Snakes videos, he talks about that will give you a very consistent bird pattern, and you just have to worry about the skeleton patterns. But they both get through it without dying. That's always good. And into stage 8.
Yeah, this next screen is one that kind of worries me too. There's this easy way to die coming up right here when you jump over this guy. If you don't hit it just right, you can kind of land and stutter, and there it goes.
Oh,
Freeland came up short.
Yeah, that's a rough place to die because you lose the cross, and the cross, in case folks haven't seen this, once the mummies overlap, the cross actually does damage every frame. So if you have the mummies standing on top of each other and you throw the cross, it does a ton of damage real quick. And so Freeland's going to go through backup strats with the stopwatch. And Xytoriak is moving through. It looks like he's setting up for what we call the Ouija bridge, pioneered by the runner Ouija. Oh, he had to go to the left, so he must have lost a frame somewhere.
Uh-oh, he's in trouble too.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, he squeaks it out. I really thought that Freeland would go back and try to get the cross there. I guess it makes more sense not to, because that's a tight window to get with a short whip.
Yeah, and folks who don't know, you want to keep the short whip for this skip coming up, which is called Cave Skip. So Freeland's going to go the low percent strat of facing to the left, and the mummies walk to the left, and then back jumping, and you can whip them down from right there with basically no risk of getting hit.
Yeah.
See if
occasionally one of them will pop out and knock you backwards, which is kind of a pain in the tail.
Yeah,
it's rare.
Definitely. Xytoriak going for the pause buffer to try and save it. I think he got it. Cool.
Yep.
So he activated the watch slightly early to line up that bat. Well, actually, to line up the fishman, to then line up the bat to get that skip up into the ceiling of the cave. But he saved it with the pause buffer. Let's see how Freeland does. Xytoriak moving into the frequently referred to Fleeman Alley. Freeland having to pause buffer and misses it, unfortunately. So that's about a 7-second time loss against Xytoriak. So we'll see what happens here.
And it's also another one of those places where you might get it 10 times in a row, or you might get it 1 out of 10. It just seems to come and go, at least with me.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think during the early qualifiers myself, I'm pretty consistent with that trick, and I sort of got, what they call it, the yips in sports, where I missed it once in a race and then was like, could not do it from there on. But yeah, so it's kind of a goofy trick. But yeah, we'll see what Xytoriak does. Does he go for he's going for the Frank crit?
He got the crit. He was one short.
Yep, messed up his whip rhythm a little bit there. But Frank crit is essentially the same as the Medusa crit, slightly different, visual cues on where you line up, but it's the same concept. So cool to see. Freeland moving into the Frank stage, which is 12. And then from there, let's see if Xytoriak, this is the first place that folks go for the scroll glitches. So let's see what he does here.
He's wiggling, sort of. Yep, they kind of struggled. He got it.
Yeah, the double, in fact. So he tricked the game into loading a different two different tiles, actually, or two different blocks there. So by moving the opposite direction of when the game is checking to see if it should load the next tile, it's actually loading a different tile, which is very cool.
10 seconds?
10 or 10 or 13, I want to say, actually. So it's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. So big
I just know now that my skips turn really red when I get here and I don't get them. I just can't remember exactly how many seconds it is. It's a lot.
Yeah, if you are going for these scroll glitches in level 5, this is the new jail, or where runs end. So Xytoriak is skipping. There's like a floor drop here that you can do as well. And then let's see if he goes for what's called Advanced 14. So he's going to try and create a hole in the floor and also a hole in the wall. So it gets
the top one.
And the bottom one. Oh, boy. This is...
He's gonna PB again.
Yeah, this might be a PB for Xytoriak right now. He is on a serious pace. So we'll see him jump and damage boost up, and then even though there are no stairs, the stairs are still technically loaded into the game.
Well, it thinks you're in the next screen. Uh-oh, he took a little knockback. It thinks you're in the next screen where the stairs are, I think is what it's doing.
Right. Okay, so how risky does he play the death fight? He's probably going to play it very safe. That's what I would do in a race, but we'll see.
Yeah. With tons of hearts, might as well get rid of them, as many as you can. But I think he's playing the Japanese version, so it'll count them off relatively fast.
Yep. All right. And Freeland,
I was really surprised a little bit that he went for that. He must not. I wonder if he's watching the restream, because he's got a decent lead. Going for it and not getting it's going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that screen black was 950, which means 940 RTA. I don't know if this is PB pace or not. Actually.
He has taken a couple of knockbacks. But to get both of those pretty cleanly, pretty good.
Oh, yeah, no, huge. And both 13 and the wall and 14 were the double blocks, which means that his wiggle rhythm is like 100% on point right now. So very impressive to see. Freeland approaching the death fight. He's got 6 hearts, so he should be able to take... Oh, no. Oh, no. So death is getting loose. We're going to see some interesting survival strats here from Freeland. This is the worst feeling. Yes. Okay. Oh.
Good job, Freeland.
Anybody who's played this game casually or raced this game knows the worst feeling in the world is once you see the death sites appear. That's just bad news bears all around. So Xytoriak stopping to get the safety meat. He only had 1 hit left because this level it's 4 hits and you're done. That makes sense, especially in a race situation. So definitely a
he's
very,
in good
very
shape with hearts. Yeah. As long as he doesn't die to drag, he's in good shape for this race. Let's see.
See how this drag fight goes. Yep.
Oh, missed the back jump. He got turned back around there. He almost got the crit again.
Yeah. So that's going to be a 4 cycle? Yeah, 4 cycle. So that's a really good race amount of cycles for Dracula, the first form, and then we see the second form, or the Cookie Monster, or the I forgot what the official term is for that. It's like the evil of all humanity or something like that. It's not actually Dracula. I read about this, but anyway, good GG to Xytoriak. That's going to be looks like a 55, so a 45 RTA, which is awesome.
Strong.
Yep. And Freeland comes into the Drac fight as well. Now, Freeland is definitely the master at things like 2 cycles, so we'll see if how quick his Drac fight here goes.
Got the bad pattern.
Yep, still gets the backup 3 cycle now. Nice.
Plenty of hearts.
Yep,
GG
and
Freeland.
GG. So
that 3 cycle there is pretty difficult. that crit there is pretty difficult when you get that bad pattern. It's not free by any stretch.
Yeah, no. So, folks that are unaware, there's two different fireball patterns you can get after Dracula first appears and throws his fireballs. It could be either low or high, depending on how you jump there and everything like that. So the one that Freeland got, you have to do a pause buffer for a certain amount of frames to even be able to two-cycle Dracula, and it's tough to get. Freeland definitely played that the smart way by going to the kind of older way of doing a backup 3-cycle off of that. So that was smart to do, definitely. But GG's to both runners. That was a really good race. And we'll see what happens here next. What do you think as far as, like, if you're Xytoriak, do you change anything?
Not as cleanly as he got those scroll glitches. I don't think I would. I mean, he's going to have a 17, 18, 20-second advantage just from the get-go if he gets those two, because I know Freeland's not even going to attempt them.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, it's definitely one of those things. So if you think about it, I think it was a 55 by the race time timer. So that means that, you know, that's something that Freeland can actually beat with his sort of consistency, which is the impressive thing. You know, the thing to keep in mind is, you know, folks are sometimes folks think, oh, you know, the scroll glitches, it's, you know, great times are free now. The scroll glitches themselves are super hard to pull off, especially consistently, which is awesome to see Xytoriak do that. But, you know, there has been so much optimization of this run prior to the scroll glitches that, and Freeland's definitely a student of that, you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't know if I would change anything if I was Xytoriak. I think Freeland probably just needed a race to get, you know, to get out, get warmed up and everything, and we'll see what happens here. Again, the machine of consistency of Freeland. We'll see what happens. The interesting thing about these two runners also is they're going to be facing each other in, I believe there's a Castlevania 2 randomizer. So they're both really, really, really good CV2 runners as well. So yeah, I don't know if you've started playing with that game at all, Retro Dismiss, but it's kind of an interesting. It pairs really well with this one.
I have not. I've watched a lot of runs, but I've never actually. I mean, I played it. I loved it as a kid. One of the most exciting games I ever played as a child. It was almost like an open world game in 1988 or whatever it was. So it definitely looks like a fun game. The RNG in it looks to be a pain, though. So I don't know. A random, I think, takes care of some of that, but.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because, like, I've run it a little bit myself, and, you know, those guys are like, oh, you should get good enough at it to play randomizers, and I'm like, I can barely remember where all the stuff is, you know, like, you guys are encyclopedias of, like, where all the items are and everything like that, so it's awesome.
It's a way larger world, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's very interesting, and of course, you know, it kind of gets an interesting reputation from, you know, a few different YouTube channels and everything like that, and, you know, whatever about that. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see these two runners take each other on in a completely different game. You know, the other Simon adventure on the Nintendo. So looks like we're getting ready to kick off the next race. We'll see if anything gets changed here on strats. I'll be very interested in that. So
I was looking at times on the board, and Freeland has an 11:30. He's 17th on the board without scroll glitches. That's that's pretty darn impressive. I think there's only 5 names ahead of him that are in the same boat. You know, so before scroll glitches, he was probably 4th or 5th on the board.
Yeah, no, it's sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say it's definitely one of those things where I think that people are, you know, there used to be a joke, and it was sort of that last real push of optimization that was, you know, SBD Wolf, K-Mac returning, Evade Captcha, and Two Snake were all grinding that game super hard, and, you know, the joke was, oh, I missed a frame rule, got to reset. You know, like, that's how optimized that run was getting. And Freeland's definitely in that same camp of, like, hitting all of those, like, really, really tough tricks. And obviously, you know, now that there's bigger skips, the times are coming down again on the board. But you know, it's interesting to see like how much time you can really get out of the game and get out of the run when you optimize just everything, you know, along the lines of, and it's still not to the Super Mario 1 or anything type of thing, but it was trending that way. You know, I think SPD Wolf got
definitely getting close.
yeah, was getting like a 1119 or 1118, or maybe it was even a 17 without scroll glitches, you know, and that's just complete optimization, you know, like and totally crazy. So, but yeah,
Well,
so
I know
it'll be
you have some
interesting.
runs on the Coops percent, and Freeland's world record holder there with an 1143, which is just insane. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Folks, if you're not aware of Koops percent, it's the Mechanical Koopas. Kind of like a challenge run that they came up with. Really fun category, kind of close to glitchless. It's not entirely glitchless, but you take out things like crits against the bosses, and you take out things like scroll glitches, and you take out things like cave skip. And the goal was just to try and sub 12, which is, you know, kind of the, you know, it's the usual goal that everybody kind of starts with when they start running this game, and start working towards. And Freeland just absolutely dominates that category. So you know, again, I wouldn't, you know, this isn't over by any means. And speaking of which, Freeland has the early watch, so we'll see if Freeland goes for the early activation, because that could save some time as well. I know that at least back in the day, Freeland used to go for this, so we'll see if he tries it. Oh,
he tried. Okay. He was late. He's the good miss.
Yeah. Luckily,
not gonna see any axe strats this time.
Nope. And they both get the damage boost. And folks, if you haven't run this game, that bat boost over that wall is the most nerve-wracking thing. The moment that you are either streaming or on a marathon or on a race setting like this is just, it's free until you have to do it in front of somebody, and then it's impossible sometimes if you miss it. So
for sure. All right, here we go. Back crits. No and a no. One was late, one was early, seemed to me. So gonna be pretty darn close again, going out of one.
Yep, really good backup fights though. If you haven't seen that, like, you go for the crit, there's a crit setup, but then if you miss it, there's just a little bit of patience letting the bat go towards that wall and then hitting the activation again, or hitting the activation of the watch will freeze him, and you can just whip him down real quick.
So it'll be curious now if Xytoriak goes for the wiggles on the crushers since he has a stopwatch.
He does have the stopwatch.
Big jump ahead if you get that. My goodness.
Yeah. That's another 10 seconds. So, you know, another 10 seconds optimally. So it's kind of crazy. This level actually used to, with the exception of, say, like the Medusa crit and grabbing the frame rules at both of these doors, this used to be sort of the calm before the storm after you got out of level 1 with this run. Xytoriak a little low on hearts.
Yes,
real low
and
on
he didn't
hearts.
get one there.
Okay.
There's one. So it's good. I tell you, nobody goes for that frame rule anymore because it's impossible.
Yeah, that frame rule is a real big pain in the butt, for sure.
No wiggles.
No wiggles, yeah. Okay, and he got a heart right beat. So the goal there is you jump up and you freeze the crushers coming down, grab the holy water, and as you go and they damage boost up there, you'll notice that they always throw a holy water into those dragon cannons, I think they're called. The reason is that holy water, A, stuns them and you can walk through them without any damage, but B, it builds up your multiplier so then that they get the double shot, you'll see, so they can fight Medusa quicker.
I think Agent Wyvern called him Barry the Bone Pillar this morning. I thought that was a good name. It's pretty funny.
It is canon now. Barry the Bone Pillar. I love it. Okay, on to level 3. Let's see how punishing this level is. There's actually now a scroll glitch here too. At stage 7, I forgot about that. Trisk started doing it. You can actually glitch in blocks, so you can just go up there, go up to where those stairs are by jumping, which is pretty crazy. It's very interesting. What the scroll glitches kind of allow you to in a somewhat limited way, do whatever you want with Dracula's Castle. So Xytoriak getting kind of the slow pattern there. Freeland moving through it with one of the more optimal patterns. But,
yeah, Xytoriak also got a bone from Richard when he came up between 7-1 and 7-2.
Yeah, you gotta love that. And it's always those skeletons just play by their own rules sometimes, especially that one.
Well, you were talking about how optimized it was before. That before could have been a difference between a world record and not a year ago.
Yep, 100%. Freeland moving the item table one more time. Xytoriak doing the full jump over that bone pillar, which is always scary. Yeah, it's very scary.
Kind of like the strat where you kind of turn around and bounce back off of him, so he kicks you to the other side.
Yeah, the safety boost.
I never remember to do that.
I was doing it, but then there's a way to get a drop as you come down if you manage to hurdle them and throw across at the same time. It's really goofy, and sometimes it works. But yeah, I think they both looked good for a Ouija setup, so you'll see them go all the way to the right, they take one hit, and then the mummies walk towards each other, and you throw 2 crosses, and it's over.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known that as a kid. I couldn't kill those stupid things to save my life as a child.
Yeah, this is one of those games, and myself included, that there's a lot of stuff that when I first saw the early speedruns with some of these tricks in them, I was like, oh really? High disappointment that I'd spent so much time. The death hallway and the death fight is the classic. I never made it past there as a kid usually when I run into people who haven't seen the speedrun.
Yeah, I think I saw death once as a kid. That was it. And that lasted about 10 seconds. All right, so Freeland got it and Xytoriak didn't.
Yeah, so a little bit of a reversal of what happened last race. So we'll see what happens. Again, is consistency of, optimized strats versus, we'll see what happens with scroll glitches. So again, scroll glitches aren't free, so hopefully Xytoriak's keeping his the rhythm fresh in his head. Freeland moving through Fleeman Alley very cleanly.
Yeah, no axes, and everybody will be happy.
Yep. Oh,
there it was. Woo!
Yeah. So
that'll draw you up a little bit.
Yeah, if you don't know what's going on with that, basically there is a item table, which is essentially like a variable that gets set for each level, and that variable of where you're at in the four values maintained. So you could be you start at value 0, and then if you don't move the item table, then you'd be on value 0 for the next level, and it just corresponds to what sub weapons or drops you'll get. Depending on if you hit something on a specific frame.
Oof.
Almost. Yeah, almost Frank crit.
Almost got it back. He overstepped it a little bit. But.
Yeah, but basically, you want to see a potion drop in level 3. That way, you will not see an axe drop in level 4. But we'll see what happens here. Freeland moving through.
Oh, that was not seeing that close. That way of doing it. All right, here we go. Close. Some wiggles. Let's catch him up in one.
Oh, got one of the blocks, but not the block you need.
Yeah, and not the party block, which can ruin your day. So.
Right. There's a bunch of blocks in that column. So what happens with the game there is if you scroll glitch a tile off of the top of the stairs there, or that platform it's going to, the game knows to stop the stairs at the next platform. So since there isn't a platform, it lets you just keep walking until you walk up through the ceiling. And so since Xytoriak didn't scroll glitch out that specific tile, then it doesn't work. But he did get the one below it, so so the rhythm's still there. We'll see if he can catch up with Advanced 14 again. And then looking at Freeland's screen, he's moving through 14. Again, just
machining it.
Yep. As predicted, consistency. That's what comes from Freeland for sure. So.
I think Freeland told me one time that he didn't need the scroll glitches because he would beat me without them. And he was right.
Xytoriak missing one of the two, so he does get a little bit of a catch-up here. I think that 14 is around 10 seconds, I want to say, so that puts him...
I mean, it's almost puts him back to you.
Yeah, very interesting, so...
It's only a quarter of a screen behind now, instead of a whole one.
Xytoriak going for the statue skip. He didn't actually need to do that, but you know, hey, it's only slightly slower to do that that throw animation, which is like 22 frames, than taking the damage.
It's free when he's not going to kill you when you don't take it damage.
Yeah.
It's easy then.
But yeah, it's free when it's not scary for sure. So Freeland not letting death loose, that's always good. Clean fight. Xytoriak going for the jump up as well, so both of them did a more optimized fight. So we'll see. It's going to come down to Dracula, I think, as usual. So
as usual, if it's within what 10 seconds when you get to Dracula, he's your man. Like,
yep,
can change on a dime.
All bets are off. Yeah.
See who goes for the food here.
Yeah, it's who grabs the safety meat. Yep. And you know, we haven't been talking about stage 16 because it's essentially free if you don't lose any frames, but oh man,
oh, no.
I just
Lost
commentators
frames.
Cursed that one on that. That's
yes,
too bad. Yeah. Sorry, Xytoriak. Oh no. I was just gonna say, like, it's deceptively easy to sometimes lose a frame here, and the bat patterns then become something that you're unaware of. So just holding left here consistently, you get the same patterns. And Dave says hello. That bat is affectionately known as Dave, and he likes to hang out and say hi during marathons and races like that. So
just when you don't expect it.
Just when you don't expect it.
He's gonna have to get some safety meat. He needs a whip too. He's still got the leather whip.
I think he'll pick it up off this candle right here, and then Freeland into the Drac fight here on a really good pace again. So Drac fight starting at 11:13 RTA, which is it's a pace.
Easy two.
Oh, almost.
Easy three now.
Going in for the machine gun kill. We'll see.
He's kind of low on hearts. He better.
Yeah, he's got to pace it a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. Perfect number.
Yep.
GG Freeland. That evens it up.
Yep, and I think I saw that as an 11:52 for race time, which means you can subtract almost about 10 seconds for RTA to give you an idea of what that would be RTA. So that was an 11:42.43 RTA, which is a really, really impressive time, especially in a race.
I bet if he flipped his live splits to average, that would be around his average.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Mine's about a minute and a half past that.
Zytoriak having a really, really good fight too. Yeah, GG's to both runners. So we're evened up. As we speculated, you know, kind of some differences of you know, consistency, that Mr. Consistency coming back, so we'll see. All right, so let's see what happened there. Beyond, so Xytoriak not getting advanced 14 and not getting 13, and then I think also missing cave skip, I want to say. I think he missed cave skip on that, right? Something like that.
He did.
Yeah. So you know,
sorry, I was
hit
trying to figure out how to get those stars correct up there, and I kept messing it up. So.
All good. So he went for all that, you know, in the first race and got it. So I think both runners don't really alter anything. It's going to come down to you know, it's just going to come down to probably Dracula and who can hit all of the tricks they're going for. So we'll see.
I think it you know, basically comes down to it. If Xytoriak gets him, he probably wins. If he doesn't, and it's just straight up, I would say Freeland wins. I mean,
yeah,
just like you've seen the first two races go.
See. Probably going to take a small breather here before the next one. Oh, maybe not. Looks like we're kicking off already. Alrighty. So final race. And one thing we didn't talk about, you touched on it briefly, was they are racing the Japanese re-release, I want to say 1993. It has a couple advantages. The heart countdown is faster. So instead of, if you've ever played, the US release, the hearts kind of count down one by one. In this version, it just goes real quick at the very end. And it also included this awesome easy mode, which is a lot of fun to play. And you actually had the world record for a little bit in that Retro Dismiss.
I did. I'm going to bring Agent Wyvern up again. He's on my bad list. He took it. Congratulations to Wyvern.
Yeah.
We'll go back to it later.
The fun part about that is just you don't take any knockback, which is interesting. And then also, you start with a lot more hearts, and you keep multipliers, and you keep sub-weapons if you die. Interesting stuff like that. All right, so early stopwatch for Xytoriak. Let's see if he goes for the early activation. Oh, he did. No, he missed it.
He was one late.
Yeah, so that was...
Cost him, what, 6 seconds?
Oh, well, yeah, now definitely for sure missing that bat boost. Like I said, that bat boost, the moment that you have to do it under pressure, is 100% not free. Freeland approaching the bat fight here, the vampire bat, and we'll see if he gets a crit. So the crit is... Oh, missed it. So the crit is just hitting the... being in the whip animation on the same frame that the boss actually hits you. Why this one-shots this boss is because Simon's on stairs, and so Xytoriak getting a backup fight as well. And because there's nowhere for Simon to get knocked back to, it just sort of does all the damage, which is pretty interesting. Versus if you see one of these runners go for like Medusa or Frank, you'll see that just if they get a crit, it takes like 5 damage off of the boss. So.
Exactly. So we're looking at about 13 seconds difference, I think is what I counted at black screen there. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, so going for that early watch activation is risky, especially in a race setting. If you're going for PB attempts, obviously you miss it and you reset, right? But had Xytoriak gotten that, that's 3 seconds right there. Which is, always welcome in, when you're racing somebody, but, there's inherently a risk to it, obviously.
Exactly.
Freeland moving into... Go ahead.
I was curious if he'll now go for the scroll glitch. I mean, he may go for the crusher skip now. I don't know if he's worked on it. I assume he has.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've seen him do... So... The wiggles are kind of a weird thing, and going right wiggles versus left wiggles is like 2 different beasts altogether. Nope. So just moving through, and then just moving through, and he's got that... Folks always freak out when they see that double drop there. Once you go up the next screen, the double will drop again, which is great. Freeland setting up for the Medusa fight. Oh. Taking a hit there, but everything should be good.
One thing interesting about that double, though, if you throw you throw a holy water and it hits a fireball and drops that double further up, it doesn't show up on the next screen.
Yeah, it's
really,
kind of
really hurts.
Yeah, mysterious on what goes on there. Freeland moving into level 3, everybody's favorite level. So we'll see if
how good thing about level 3 is the music.
It's fun when everything's working. It's terrible when nothing is working. It's one of those. So.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop there. That's not good.
Oh wow. Oh okay. So he got the potion. That is optimal. Freeland would have loved to get actually a money bag drop off of that skeleton where he got the axe. The reason for that is in this level, the item table goes potion, money bag, and then rosary. And rosary clears all enemies off the screen. So that would set Freeland up for this specific drop that he's going to go for right now, which he doesn't, to be a rosary, and he can just walk through that screen. Takes a hit. Oh boy. Whew. That was a really, really good adjustment from Freeland there. That was
surprised he didn't go for a drop there. But I guess he didn't want it to come out since it's the bag. No need to let it come out so it doesn't cause the axe later.
Right. And it's when you're going for Weejui here, there's a couple that's an interesting pattern. Yeah. So having to do some backup fight or backup strats there for this stage 9. Normally Freeland goes for Weejui Bridge, but he's going to set up to the left because he lost some frames somewhere. Let's see where Xytoriak is. Xytoriak looks like he's on the pattern. And if you're trying to understand how we're reading that, it's watching how those birds behave. It tells you if you're on the pattern or not. So good backup fight, or good left setup, I should say, from Freeland. Good Weejui from Xytoriak.
That might have closed the gap just a touch there.
Yeah, definitely. But
I'll try to get us time here.
That stage 8 from Freeland was kind of amazing. Like he, those backup kind of recovery strats that he did were awesome. So see if he gets the cave skip.
Yeah, it's close to taking a death there for sure.
Yeah, gets the cave skip, which is awesome.
No. Still 14 seconds, so it's about exactly the same.
Let's see what happens with Xytoriak here. That's a little high, but I think it might work. Yeah, he's gonna save it. Yeah.
Yep, that was that second frame that sits up there. You get two frames there to do that.
You kind of gotta activate that watch a little earlier, and then feels comfortable. It's a nerve-wracking thing to save that that way, but he grabs it, no problem. Freeland going through Fleaman Alley.
So do you have to go? I've been going back and getting that double. I guess you don't have to. It'll still show up in the next room, I hope.
Yeah, I believe since you cross a door there, that the double, kind of the buildup of the multiplier should still happen. Yep.
Oh, that's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Learn something new.
There's so much at this point, to learn with this game. So let's see. Freeland's going to go for the, standard Frank kill there. Let's see what Xytoriak, who's been going for the Frank crit, does. Frank crit is like, I don't know, like a second, maybe a second and a half. So it's not a huge time save, but a lot of these things add up, So let's see if it goes.
For a long time, you could guarantee a world record if you missed Frank crit. Seemed like everybody that got it missed it.
Xytoriak gets it, so yeah, no, it was I think Wolf didn't have it. That was the only thing he missed. I think Chakra had a PB that was like the only thing he missed. Yeah, it was definitely a thing. I think even JC had one for a bit. So it was like, and there's something weird about Frank and the Medusa crits. It's like if you get one, you won't get the other in a run. It's really bizarre. Xytoriak missing 13. Yeah. So he's still behind, but again, 14 or advanced 14 will catch him up, if not put him ahead. So we'll see what happens here. Freeland doing the consistency thing again, which is just sometimes with racing, that's the name of the game. Just be super consistent and you just chip away or maintain a lead, for the whole run.
For sure. He's definitely the king of that.
Let's see. So Freeland moving into the latter part of 14. It's kind of weird once you start seeing all these scroll glitches, like to look at these screens without the scroll glitches. Like it's interesting. A lot has happened with this speedrun in the past year and a half, which is been cool to see in real time for sure.
It used to be on the screen your biggest worry was accidentally grabbing the stairs right here, trying to get past right there. Where Xytoriak is, I'd always grab those stairs by accident.
Those stairs are magnetic. No. He does get 14, so he's going to be right behind Freeland. Yeah, every Castlevania has some stair fun to it. This one, it seems like they're magnets. I know CV3, it seems like you cannot stay on the stairs. Yeah. CV2 has some funkiness to it as well. I don't know about CV4 as much, but always good times.
CV4 is kind of funny too, the way you can grab them on the way up, so you can jump through them in both directions.
Well, and you can moonwalk, which, you know, what else is more important, obviously.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
All right,
good
so
fight.
Freeland,
Good
easy fight there.
Yep. See what happens here with Xytoriak. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
You had plenty of.
Yeah.
Woo.
So scary.
I'm telling you, I'm not jumping up there. It's too scary. I'm not jumping up there with death. You can have that platform.
It's very, very scary to be up there. I know that folks who've never seen the run before too always get really freaked out when they jump up there because most people
like,
have
where are you going?
Yeah, the same childhood, the same childhood memories as the two of us do with this game just being brutally hard. All right, so Freeland getting through stage 16, no worries. Xytoriak about halfway through. Let's see if he gets favorable.
There's still
back
about
hunts.
12 seconds here difference.
Gotcha. Okay, so everything goes good in stage 16. That's awesome for both these runners. Freeland taking the safety meet. Interesting.
Oh, we missed it.
He had a terrible pattern there from the birds and the fleamen.
Oh, he's not taking it this time. I don't blame him. I wouldn't either.
He's probably watching the restream and he realizes that he's like right on Freeland's tail. So, you know, this is really, say the cliche, this is going to come down to drag, which is where a lot of these races will end up being, which is interesting.
Let's see if he can get the crit here.
Oh,
he did, and he got it again. I need to watch that. Figure out how he does that. Got it both times this run.
Freeland, or sorry, Xytoriak has to go back, grab that holy water, otherwise it'll disappear on him and make the Cookie Monster fight way worse. Freeland, GG. Wow. Another sub 12 via race time sub 12, which again, subtract almost 10 seconds off of that. That's a really impressive race time. So. And
on the Cookie Monster here, finish him off. Just the right number of hearts for machine gun. Oh, he doesn't have the double though. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Back up.
Ooh. Back jump though.
Nice
I love it.
Back jump though. Swaggy.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Nice
GG
kill.
both runners.
Yeah, GG. It's fun.
Okay, so I think winner takes it is Freeland there, obviously. GG to Xytoriak, Freeland as well. You know, very, very interesting runs. You get to see the kind of two different schools of schools of, you know, thought on strats and stuff like that, which is very cool.
Very much so. This is fun to watch. Always good to have three races in one match.
Yeah, definitely. So when folks are unaware, you know, there's an entire tournament that's going on with this, and we'll see, you know, we'll see the brackets coming up here again. But definitely stay tuned, and this is really awesome that you know, SpeedGaming is putting this on for us.
For sure. I think the next match is myself and Trislian on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please come out. I don't know which channel. I assume it'll be on this channel as well, but I do not know that for sure. So
awesome. Cool.
All right.
Looks like we might have Freeland joining us if we're gonna do that. I'm not sure.
Maybe not.
Or maybe not. Yeah, awesome. Alrighty. Well, I think we'll kick it back over to the SpeedGaming folks, and thanks again for putting this on, and we'll see everybody on Tuesday.
Yep. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Thanks.